Sensational Kids is a social enterprise that bridges the gap between public and private therapy services for children of all abilities, including children with additional needs. Our subsidised services for children include occupational therapy, speech and language therapy, play therapy and educational psychological assessments. So what we have found is that many children who benefit from Sensational Kids need and require more than one service. So it's really lovely for families to be able to have the support that they need all under the same roof. There are 86,000 children on waiting lists for disability services in Ireland, like occupational therapy and speech and language therapy. We know these children are waiting years for these services. So if you can imagine what it might be like for a 3 or 4 or 5-year-old to be told they have to wait 3 years before they can access any supports, when we know that early intervention is key. Parents will often say to me that we have transformed their lives at Sensational Kids, not just for the child but for their whole family as well. But they also benefit from being able to access the service that they wouldn't otherwise have. And we know at Sensational Kids that we can and have changed lives over the past 15 years.
Hugo is 3 years and 11 months, so he's 4 next month. He's a really happy little guy most of the time. He's kind of funny. As Hugo progressed, he was our first child, so as he progressed, we started to notice a few things about his gross motor development. So his physical development was a little bit slower. He also had other sensory difficulties that were causing him extreme anxiety. Something that every family who needs this kind of help will encounter is those periods of wait lists. It's over a year to be seen by an occupational therapist privately. It's 23 months for the public system. The minute we got here, it changed our lives. We had searched for an answer for a long time. Within, it could have even been 5 minutes of her physically watching Hugo in the gym. She turned to us and said, I have a plan, this is how we help. His body moves in a way it didn't move before. It has fundamentally transformed his life and it's changed our home life, and we feel like it's giving him an opportunity to be his best self, and he wants to run around the house and he wants to play chasing and he wants to be involved with the other kids, which he just didn't want to before.
Fiadh, she would light up a room when she comes into it. She's so energetic and full of mischief. She didn't meet any of her milestones at the time that she was supposed to. She did meet them, but they were all a few months delayed. She also didn't talk, and I could see on a daily basis that she was just struggling to get the words out. When she started school, between myself and her teacher at the time, we met and she agreed that Fiadh did kind of need to be assessed, that there was some alarm bells there. This is when we contacted Sensational Kids. Getting Fiadh diagnosed with dyspraxia has meant the world to our family. It helps us to understand Fiadh, and it has given us the tools as a family to assist Fiadh in her daily needs. The difference with having the diagnosis and the school year compared to this time last year, she didn't go into school, would struggle, as I said, every day when she came home, but at least now I know the steps. I've been given the tools by Sensational Kids, and I can actually work with Fiadh on a daily basis, and it's just a calmer environment in our home, and having the help from Sensational Kids has been amazing.
JC and Brody. JC's 12 and JC has autism, and Brody's 8 and he also has autism. So before we started here, JC would have been, I suppose they'd say pre-verbal. He was 4, he only had 3 words, mama, dada and no. And there was a lot of anxiety, a lot of frustration. And I suppose your first time around, you know nothing. You're completely just, you think once you get the assessment, all the doors will open, but no doors open. When we came here, within a couple of months, he was a different child. The words just every day, like we started off, Elaine was telling me to like write down a word each time he spoke, different word. And in the end then it was like we were hitting 60, 70 and I couldn't even remember, and it was just, it's been amazing with him, like the difference once you get the services in place. Coming to Sensational Kids has been absolutely brilliant for the whole family. It has given us the support that we needed to put in place what the kids need in their daily routines. It has helped with regulation for the 2 kids with OT. It has helped with communication through the speech and language. It has just brought the kids on leaps and bounds, and it's been amazing.
Liam is 11, happy little boy, doing great in school, all good. But when he was young, it was kind of between 1 and 3, we noticed there was something a little bit different. It took him till 21 months to walk. When he was in play school, his play school teacher had mentioned that he might have dyspraxia and to get looked into. Coming to Sensational Kids, I'd say the biggest word I'd use is confidence for both Liam and me. So for Liam, for him to kind of have that support to help him with the writing and with the balance was massive, and that he didn't feel different. For me, there was a couple of things that helped us with confidence as a mother, as in that I didn't feel like a bad mother, that I was worrying why wasn't he doing these things fast enough, and that I knew I was giving the support. But also, as a result, one of the biggest impacts it had was we got the diagnosis so early, because the waiting list would have been so long with the HSE to get him diagnosed with dyspraxia, that we got all the supports in the school. And I don't think we would have got that if we hadn't come to Sensational Kids. We wouldn't have the diagnosis in time.
Sensational Kids has been operating now for 15 years, and we know that we have already supported over 10,000 children. We have developed our child development services so that we now have a Sensational Kids in every province in Ireland. But now we're embarking on our most ambitious project to date, which is to build a custom build, a 17,000 square foot flagship national child development centre on a 2.4 acre site just off the motorway in Kildare town. So this is going to be a transformational project for the children and families who will benefit from that service. It's a custom built facility that will have 4 sensory integration rooms, 11 consultation rooms for the therapists to work individually with the children and families. We will have an outdoor sensory garden, an outdoor play area. We will also have our destination retail store to give families access to the products that they need to support their children as well. That new centre will be able to support 300 children per week at Sensational Kids. So that's a real step change in our capacity at Sensational Kids. There will be nothing else like it in the country. We have been working really hard over the last 2 years and have already raised over 80% of the funds required to build this new facility for children and families. We now just need your support to raise the last 20% to make this project a reality. Will you be sensational and help more children to reach their potential?